Merry Christmas to all West India Yacht Club Resort local members. This is a tough year when virus spread all over the world, and hope you stay well. I'm Patrick. They are Ivan and Rose. We are from MIR Consulting Company in New York. We were hired by the resort due to several operational difficulties which were observed in these 2 years. First, the tension between local and expat staff. Second, the expatriate manager turnover was beginning to become problematic, and last, an increasing number of guest complaints. Problems are alarming, and the peak season guests in Christmas is coming soon. And also, the vacations industry in BVI is highly competitive. If the problems continue, this will definitely affect the rank in the fields and the operating performance. So let's have a glance of the first problems. During the visit, we found there is an increasing level of tension between the local and expatriate staff members. It seems that both local and expatriate members found it natural to work side by side in the past. However, I guess some of you may already noticed the gap is becoming wider and wider between the two groups, and that does cause many negative consequences, like increasing turnover rates and declining working motivation, both directly and indirectly, which will be reported to you by my teammates later. So based on the frequent talk with many of you as well as the expat managers, we found all this tension and misunderstandings are mainly derived from the two gaps. First, the cultural gap, and second, the information gap. About the cultural gap, we can find two very different attitudes in the resort. Many of you may probably value the cozy lifestyle and friendships in the workplace, while the expat manager may naturally assume that you want to earn more and more money and gain the chances to become managers just like them. Talking about the information gap, we can find most of you and managers know very little about each other's jobs and also difficulties. So many of you may doubt each other's contributions. All of these gaps and misunderstandings not only affect working effectiveness, but also job satisfaction. However, the problems are actually not inevitable, and our team strongly believe that the gap between you and the expat managers can be narrowed by the following solutions. First, we plan to reconnect the relationships between you and the expat staff and eliminate the cultural gap by holding a series of team activities regularly. These activities will include team gathering dinners, trips to other neighboring islands, and so on. Based on the study, regular gatherings will greatly help narrow the distance in a company, and we believe by joining these relaxing gatherings, we can help to build a very close-knit relationships between you and the expats. It is also a treasurable chances to you to expose your true thoughts. For example, the recent difficulties you have faced during the work, or talk freely about what kind of management styles and working relationships you prefer, so that the expat managers can understand your value truly and narrow the cultural gap. Second, in each department, for example, maybe in food and beverage department and the waterfront department, we will elect a local representative to collect the opinions from all of you and have a regular meeting with correspondence expat managers and the directors as well, so that they can reflect some problems in the workplace. For example, the high turnover rate, the obstacles to fit with new co-workers and supervisors, and so on. At the same time, it allows the expat managers to share their own difficulties and concerns. So by doing so, we can narrow the information gap and help us to understand each other better. The tension and the gap regarding cultural difference are also closely related to the expatriate manager turnover, and my teammate Ivan will elaborate it more.
Okay, thank you, Maggie. First, this was pointed out by some senior employees that the company is experiencing high turnover. Many of you may have a new supervisor every other month. In the past 2 years, the resource has tried to recruit suitable candidates, but most could not retain for a long time, not all of the results. And we attempted to figure out the reason behind. And the major reason is the cultural clash. The managers found it challenging to manage staff from different cultural backgrounds and worries that conflicts may arise. As personal values may vary from culture to culture, the valuation might be dissimilar between the people. Some may pursue individualism and high power distance, while others may prefer close cooperation between team members. So expectation gap might appear, and managers may feel isolated and demotivated because of lack of apparent results, and eventually choose to leave. As they have relationship and cultural difference with you, they actually can blend in with the local community and create a low sense of belongings, and they are willing to live. They aspire to see your support and acceptance where every employee's voice can be heard. So to address the current situation, we suggest that the company may hold a sensitivity training. The problem is happening because of ineffective management due to cultural differences, and you don't understand each other. There might be a distance between you and them. Many of you may agree with this point, but you won't have chance to get know to each other or communication during work life. So what is sensitivity training? It is about making people understand about themselves and others reasonably. So during the process, you and managers will be organized into groups and have some meeting together. There's no superior and subordinate relationship. And each member is allowed to speak freely, whatever he feels about other members or the working condition, the management styles. The objective of sensitivity training is to enable each member to know what is his behavior and how others perceive him. We assure that this activity will be mutually beneficial to you and the managers by understanding each other well. It helps you to become more sensitive to the existing diversity of the workplace and leads to better understanding among team members. It also helps build strong interpersonal relationship between team members and help managers gain insights into their management style for improvement. So after all is said and done, we must figure out that cultural differences may lead to ineffective management and cause a decline in service, which increase the number of complaints. So my teammates, Ross, will elaborate more on this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Based on what I saw during a delightful week in the British Virgin Islands, an increasing number of guys' complaints appears to be another problem at the West Indies Yacht Club. In the past, our service quality was quite high and our customers was relatively satisfied. Nonetheless, in recent years, I'm sure some of you can relate that more complaints arise when you interact with your guests, which causes you to blag at the same time. After communicating with my two colleagues, Ivan and Patrick, we summarize 3 reasons for this problem. Firstly, the information gap makes the company's headquarters lack accuracy in formulating operation plans. To solve this problem, we have developed a new program based on big data statistics, which can dispatch maintenance personnel for hotels and restaurants of WT West Air faster. Secondly, the management mode of manager is inappropriate. By training them, these people will get you to deal with difficulties at work in a paternalistic way. Thirdly, the lack of high-quality service is also the reason. Therefore, in order to make everyone's life and work more comfortable, I put forward the following suggestions to eliminate the third problem. Here, I put forward the corresponding advice from the short-term and long-term perspective. In the short term, the first wave of peak season guests will arrive tomorrow. So the influx of the tourists makes the problems more urgent. Therefore, in order to stimulate everyone's work enthusiasm, we will set up a reward and punishment mechanism. Employees who have received high praise will be given awards such as 5-day free travel around the world with your families and friends. Employees who get a lot of complaints will be punished. So I recommend you to work hard in the next 5 days. For the perspective of long term, we will use study tours to take you to other islands for specific training in service improvement. At the same time, set up cultural characteristics of the play items. You will lead tourists to sit around and drink in bars on different islands, jointly complete water sports, and so on. These are your favorite recreational activities. The management personnel will conduct corresponding supervision. By combining work and entertainment, you can improve your service level and make more friends while working efficiently. But all of this requires active collaboration with others, careful training, and follow-through. In general, regular team activities and local representative election, sensitivity training, appropriate award mechanism, and comfortable working style are our recommendations. Finally, thanks again for your solid help and kind patience, so that I could find some problems and directions much more clearly and objectively. I believe with the joint effort of every member, we can overcome these difficulties and build a result, a great place to work and live. Thank you for coming and listening.